Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Hyperion Hub, your meeting place for all things Disney. Now your hosts.
Hello, and welcome to the Hyperion Hub. I'm John Alois, and joined by Sean Degenhart.
Hi there.
And John Redling Schaefer.
Hello.
We like to start things off with our Disney view, and for that, I'm going to throw it over to John.
All right, thank you, John. And I don't know if we've talked about this before, but my wife and I had the daring idea to get up at 3:30 one morning and go run a half marathon at Walt Disney World once. And I have to say, looking back, that was very early, and I'm not sure that I would like to do another one of those on Disney's time schedule. But Disney being, obviously the great marketing team that they are, even before we were not allowed to run big events together because of a pandemic, created a virtual series of races that you could do at home, raising funds for a Central Florida or Orlando charity. I'm going to say 2 or 3 years before COVID hit. And so what they have done is continue that. You'll see virtual half marathons and marathons, even marathon weekend, the traditional races there on campus. But here, again, starting April 8th, you can register for another virtual 5K event where you run 3 races, get 3 different medals, and if you complete all 3, honor system, you get a 4th series in the medal. This year, the theme is Lion King, and it looks like there's a whole bunch of neat Lion King themed medals. So if you're into the racing and you're into collecting the hardware, these are beautiful medals. Last year they were classic rides, Haunted Mansion, Space Mountain. They're just very durable medals. They're really fun. They get you out. They get you exercising. You don't have to break a world record. You don't have to beat the dreaded Black Balloon, which is the pace car at the back of the Disney races, where if you see it, you're in trouble and you get asked to get on the bus. So it's a wonderful idea. Sure. Are you giving them money? Yep. Just to hang a medal? Yeah, I understand that. But there's always a good cause, and it's always fun to get a little Disney bling to hang in the house.
I am not a runner. So, unfortunately, I just can't.
Well, John, there's running, there's sauntering, there's mobility, kind of running. Come on, it's all on how you define it.
Well, I think that's great. That's my point. I mean, anybody, if you're really determined, you can do this, and I think it's awesome. I've always been interested in it. Let's say that. I also want to, I hope I don't embarrass him here, but, it's been a year of lockdown, and want to throw out a congratulations to one of our Hyperion Hubbers, Sean. About a year ago, he started a hymn every single day, and he started putting them on Facebook. And 365 days later, it ended with a local concert, and just so cool. Congratulations. I know a lot of people found a lot of joy in all that you did. So.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah.
There were many times when you hit the older hymns that I remember as a very young child, or ones that my grandparents loved. Full disclosure, even my mom would remind me that, yes, her parents or grandparents loved, and there were days when you would surprise us with some classics, yet also sometimes some contemporary ones. It really brightened a lot of dark days.
Thanks.
And it was cool to see a friend of the show, Don Hahn, throw out a congratulations on there as well. So what motivated you to do it? And can you tell us, what were your summer? Was it difficult to do at times?
It kind of started as a way to kind of keep connecting with our people. We host concerts throughout the area, pre-COVID, do several big events a year. And knowing we weren't going to be able to do that, just wanted to kind of keep in touch with them. So I thought, providing a little daily encouragement was a good way to do that. And people really appreciated it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, we did.
All right, on to our main topic now, and that we throw over to John once again.
Yeah, I thought it would be kind of fun to switch gears a little bit. Having a bunch of kids sitting around the dinner table, sometimes it's hard to come up with, table conversation, world politics, partisanship usually doesn't find its way into the conversation. And so over the years, our children, well, it hasn't yet, we'll see. Over the years, we've kind of developed a game that I think a lot of families play. It's called Would You Rather. And, as the kids were younger, would you rather eat a pizza or a hamburger? And you'd pass around the table, whoever asked the question, you asked it of my son, and my son would then get to ask. And I think at times they were more excited to get to ask the question than answer it, because it meant they had the entire family staring at them. It's hard to get attention when you have 4 children, I guess. But tonight I thought we'd do it Disney style. And that's actually something our family has done as they've gotten older, and we've been fortunate to go on a bunch of trips. So, guys, I'm just going to play Would You Rather with you, and I hope you don't mind. I want you to give quick gut reactions to these. Now, full disclosure to the audience, they're going to be caught by surprise on some of these, and I really think I'll be curious to see where their minds go on this, because Sean pointed this out earlier that, you know what? We've already had a pretty spirited debate over which way to walk around Epcot. All right? So hopefully you're not wrong too many times, John, here tonight. Okay? All right. First one. Would you rather sing along to When You Wish Upon a Star or There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow?
There's a great big beautiful tomorrow.
Does it help there's a commercial on TV right now?
Sing along to would be There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. It's a great song to sing to.
And When You Wish Upon a Star is hard to sing. I mean, it's a huge range and lots of jumps, and the musician in me goes, that's hard.
I didn't say the national anthem. I just said
I will say there are some nights when I actually can hit all the notes because I can play it on guitar and it's fun. But yeah, by far.
So I'm envisioning a musical episode with John on the guitar and Sean singing.
And you on bagpipes.
Oh, let's just bite our tongues. All right, moving on. That was a horrible idea. All right. So, all right, this one is especially for you guys, and I have to start with John. Would you rather, all right, watch a Disney Plus series involving the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the Star Wars franchise?
Star Wars, only because Mandalorian was unbelievably good, and I think Star Wars took a little bit of a hit there on the silver screen. So, oh man, that's really tough.
And that's why I chose you.
I'd have to go with Star Wars too. I just tried showing the girls the first episode of the Ewoks cartoon that just dropped, and their mouths were open. They're like, what is this? But I still have to go with Star Wars.
Very good. Well, let's take it to the movie realm, all right? Disney has done a fantastic job of, obviously, its classic films and then switching into live action. All right, Sean, it's your turn. Original Beauty and the Beast or live action Beauty and the Beast?
Original. That's not even a good question.
Well, fine. I guess we could just end it right now if you're insulted by it.
I do love them both, but not equally. I would go with the animated film.
I agree with you. I think, it's hard. I think you're always certainly impressed by the technical things you see in the live action ones, but it's hard to beat the classics, let's be honest. All right, fine. This one's for you two, especially because I have never been to California. John, let's start with you. Would you rather spend the day in Disneyland Park or Magic Kingdom?
Oh, wow.
I love giving the hard ones to John.
I'm going to say Magic Kingdom because it was my first park. It's where my wife and I got engaged. But my gosh, I love Disneyland. That's a good one.
I'd have to go with Magic Kingdom.
All right, and that's why I wanted to ask it, because, I sit here as someone who's not been to California just chomping at the bit to see Walt's Park. And I know it's smaller. I know it's not the same to a degree. But I'm intrigued to hear that you both said, certainly there's the emotional tie for you, John, but it's interesting to hear you both say Magic Kingdom.
I have built emotional family memories in both. And so that's pretty cool, too.
Well, it's a good segue because you chose Magic Kingdom. So now we got to figure out where to go and where do we stay. Would you rather stay at the Polynesian or the Contemporary Resort? Sean, this one's yours.
I have not stayed in either, but I would have to go with the Poly.
Okay.
Just for atmosphere.
Yeah, the atmosphere, it's really tough to beat the Polynesian. I like the location of the Contemporary and the monorail in the lobby area, but probably the Polynesian might be my favorite hotel on the planet. So.
Is that also because of the theme? Is it also, I mean, Ohana is always such a popular, I mean, I know you hear things about the food and the service once in a while, but the entire, top to bottom of your stay, I mean, you're just immersed in the Polynesian culture. I get it.
And I love the food, and we've never had bad service at Ohana, but I love Trader Sam's. I love the outdoor music that plays throughout the resort, that Hawaiian melody that kind of just flows throughout the hotel.
And you like the Moana updates? Or is that a different show?
boy, we are just picking on him tonight. This is good. I like that.
I heard somebody put it. I don't remember what I was listening to, but I heard somebody just put it so perfectly. Why did you need to theme the Polynesian resort? Why did you feel you needed more theming? I guess just so, I don't know. I don't know why. But yeah, with the addition of Moana in the room, it doesn't bother me, I guess. But still love the hotel and live music outside and swaying on the hammocks on the beach. Everything about that resort is just pretty much perfect for me.
Well, I think you're right. Other than a footpath from the Contemporary, that's, it's a photo op to just say you walked over. But I'm with you guys 100% because I appreciate the Poly for one other reason. And that's because you can sit on the beach and watch the fireworks shows much better in a full frontal view of the park, right? And so that leads to my sixth question to John. Would you rather watch, all right, we're talking nighttime spectaculars. Let's go back in time. Would you rather watch Wishes or Happily Ever After?
I love the music for Wishes probably more, but the show overall is just amazing for Happily Ever After. When they're able to bring out Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen and all the classics, Jungle Book, and project them perfectly on a castle that was not built for projections. The special effects, everything about it is phenomenal. I would go with the newer show, but I love the music for the old show. I'll go with Happily Ever After.
That's a tough one. I asked my girls this question, and they said Wishes, hands down. That was our first nighttime show. We listened to it in the car, and our 7-year-old knows it's Wishes. When that first little string tremolo starts super quiet, she just, it's Wishes. But I am loving Happily Ever After. That is really growing on me now that I've seen it more, I think, than actually I've seen Wishes. There's elements of both that I just love, so I'm going to go with Happily Wishes.
All right.
That's my answer.
I like that. I like that a lot. And you're right. I mean, one of my favorite pictures is my wife with her arms around my daughters as Wishes. We're in the hub, and Wishes has just gotten into its full force. And I will say, if they would have made Happily Ever After without Tinkerbell, do you think we would have had a revolt on our hands? I mean, let's be honest, right? All right. Well, great. That's awesome.
I just want to encourage our listeners to go back and listen to episode 12, the Walt Disney World 1985 episode, and listen because there is no music playing. They used to have fireworks, and it's really kind of eerie to walk around and just hear that going on in the background.
All right, Sean, it's your turn, and I don't care which park we're in here, out west or out east. Would you rather climb and drop on Space Mountain or Splash Mountain?
Splash Mountain.
Yeah, Splash Mountain. Yeah.
I agree. All right, well, good. I'm glad we can agree on one here. Well, let's get our way around whether, this one can work, I suppose, to a degree in California, but primarily a Disney World question. Would you rather hitch a ride to a park on a monorail or on a boat?
I'm going to go with monorail because you can't, oh man. I was going to say you can't really do that anywhere else, but you can in any major city.
John, you can do it at Orlando International Airport if you're bored. Yeah.
But flying over the water, going to the Magic Kingdom, or even getting over to Epcot and actually going into the park without having to get out of the monorail. I don't know if you can beat that. The waterways in Walt Disney World are beautiful, but I'm going to go with monorail.
For convenience, I would say monorail, but if I had my druthers, I'd choose the boat.
And I'm with Sean. I mean, my kids love it, of course. You don't I think, John, to your point, you don't ride a monorail every day. You just don't. That's fair. But I absolutely, on one of our prior episodes, when we talked about those times when you find that inner peace, even at a busy theme park, I find it on the boats. Those small boats from, as long as they're not super packed, going to the Poly or the Grand Floridian, even to Fort Wilderness, you can just sit, put your feet up, and really just have the breeze hit you in the face. I love it.
Our girls' favorite part of the monorail, of course, is the "Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas," which you don't get on the boat. So
it's actually my wife's ringtone when she calls me.
Oh boy! Well, John, you mentioned. I was trying to segue out of it, but all right, we can dwell on it if you want. John, you mentioned taking the monorail to Epcot. I love it. So this one's for Sean. Would you rather celebrate Norway with Maelstrom or Frozen Ever After?
I have only been on both once. And I don't remember Maelstrom enough to go with that, though my gut and your expressions over this Zoom call are telling me I need to choose Maelstrom. But I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to pick Frozen.
I want to make it clear there is no undue influence on any of these answers right here.
Why did you have your pointer finger going across your throat? I got to say, I did go on Maelstrom a bunch of times, and it was cool for what it was. But Frozen is just amazing. I mean, the animatronics are incredible. Everything about what they did, they didn't gut it and start over. They built within, and they actually tell a decent story within what all was already there. I know it. A lot of people get upset because it takes away from what the World Showcase in some people's minds is supposed to be. But Frozen's just a better attraction.
And the queue is beautiful too.
Right. I agree with that 100%. It's a wonderful interaction. I mean, everybody loves seeing Oaken peek his way through the sauna door. And, I've always wanted to ask a cast member from Norway, if I ever had the courage to go to a gift shop and say, how are you? Are you okay with this? Because I do that cultural appropriation, and well, of course, Arendelle is Norway. Well, okay, and you mentioned in Moana at the Polynesian too. There's just where's the envelope, or how far do you push the envelope? It's interesting. But yeah, I've enjoyed them both, and I think the technology in Frozen Ever After really does make it a cut above just the weird portions of the dark and twisted ride that it used to be. But I enjoyed them both. All right, the last one, John. We're gonna end this with you starting on a very important. Would you rather eat a Mickey waffle or a Mickey ice cream bar?
Mickey waffle. I feel like and please nobody send me hate mail, but I feel like the Mickey ice cream bar tastes like any ice cream bar. I know it's a little more magical at Walt Disney World, but Mickey waffles, there's something about the flour and the mix, and especially if you have it at Ohana with that special punch that they serve. I love Mickey waffles. I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
I'd have to go with the ice cream bar. Standing in front of the castle, having your ice cream, it doesn't get better than that.
I think I've had one, and it was in Animal Kingdom, and yeah, I love them. I mean, it's cool,
So are you telling me you dunk your Mickey waffles into the Pog juice? I'm confused.
No, but it's just the combination of flavors. And
all right. Well, that just could be the sugary syrup that they put with it too, though. But no, and don't get me wrong, eating an ice cream bar in 150-degree heat has its challenges too, especially when a child wants a bite or two of it too. But there's, I'm not big on Instagram, but there is something photogenic in your mind of just holding that thing up in front of the castle. So, guys, that's a little insight into our dining room table, our dinner experience. If that's something you guys do as well, great. If you want to introduce that to your families, I'm happy to share this experience with you.
Well, I think, this is just spitballing here. I think we can come up with at least a couple of questions for you, a would you rather. So Let's start with an easy one for both of you. Would you rather Dole Whip or Citrus Swirl? And there is a wrong answer.
So, in case you're wondering about that finger across the throat motion over Zoom, mine's a citrus swirl.
Oh, wrong answer.
Yep.
Sean.
I don't think I've had a citrus swirl, so I'm gonna have to go with Dole Whip.
Yeah, they're both really good.
They are, and you mentioned the poly earlier. There's so many different variations on a theme now. I get it, the traditionalist, but I had a lime whip or whatever you want to call it the last time we were there at the poly, and it was really good. I mean, I stay away from the coconuts and sometimes and things if you can, but I get it. You have to have the Dole Whip while you're there, and I still have one. But why can't you have both?
Okay, let's see. You got one, Sean?
I've got one. Phantasmic or Illuminations?
Ooh.
Phantasmic for me.
Phantasmic is a better show, and it's certainly more engaging. But I'm a fan. If I had to pick my favorite park, it's Epcot, and so I'm always going to have a soft spot for Illuminations.
I like the music better for Illuminations, but I think the storytelling is far superior in Phantasmic. All right, Disney Park, fill in the blank, in the rain with very few people, or packed and sunny and beautiful.
Since we always have our ponchos packed, it's rain with a few people because it is a mad dash between rides.
I'd have to go with rain.
Do you bring your ponchos, or I mean, you don't purchase there obviously, but we buy packs of like $1 ponchos.
Yep, and I will say we finally, after about 2 or 3 trips, wised up to buy a bigger one for the stroller that would be waiting at the various ride entry points and exit ways. And so we not only, because you'd close it, and that's one thing, or put the roof down, but it would still get pretty wet. But yes, we carry our own. That's the only reason anymore, unless we're there in the summer and we need bottles of water. That's the only reason we carry the backpack anymore, is for the ponchos.
Very cool. All right, I don't have any more. I've got a bunch of weird ones in the back of my head, but we can save those for another
John, let's not get weird.
Would you rather hang out with like Mark Twain or Benjamin Franklin for a day inside walking around Epcot?
All right, Ben Franklin had the gout, something fierce. I don't know. This is getting too weird too fast. I'm done.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. Please send us some ideas. If you have some topics you'd like us to talk about, we'd love to talk about them. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please rate and review us so other people can find us. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter, we're at Hub Hyperion. You can email us at podcast@thehyperionhub.com. Guys, thank you so much, and we hope you have a great week.
We're glad you could join us. We'd love to hear from you. You can email or send us a recorded audio message at podcast@thehyperionhub.com. Find us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The Hyperion Hub is not affiliated with the Walt Disney Company or its subsidiaries. We'll meet you next time at the Hyperion Hub.